Maria Joji. I am from Kerala. I'm studying in 11th standard at Sacred Convent Senior Secondary School, Chengalam. I'm here to take a session on the topic Types of Chemical Reactions.
A warm good evening to all. I'm Maria Joji and today we are going to deal with an interesting topic in chemistry, that is types of chemical reaction. In this session, we are going to talk about namely 4 types of reactions: combination reaction, decomposition reaction, displacement reaction and double displacement reaction. Without much further ado, let's get into today's session. Before looking into the types of chemical reaction, let us now see what is a chemical reaction. So chemical reaction is not that atoms of one element changes into atoms of another element, nor do atoms disappear from mixtures or appear from elsewhere. Actually, chemical reaction is the breaking or making of bonds between atoms to produce new substances. So, the transformation of chemical substance into another chemical substance is known as a chemical reaction. We can see many examples for a chemical reaction even from our daily life, which includes resting of iron, the setting of milk into curd, digestion of food, respiration, etc. In a chemical reaction, a new substance is formed which is completely different in properties from the original substance. So in a chemical reaction, a chemical change takes place. We have studied in earlier classes what is a chemical change and what are its properties. One of the main properties of chemical change is that a new substance is formed which is completely different in properties from the original substance. So, in the same way in a chemical reaction, a new substance is formed. So, in a chemical reaction, a chemical change takes place. Now, let us look the different types of chemical reaction. First one is a combination reaction. A reaction in which a single product is formed from 2 or more reactants is known as a combination reaction. That is, 2 or more reactants combine to form a single product. That it takes the form X plus Y gives XY. That is, we have 2 reactants, simple reactants A and B, which combine to form a single product AB. So combination reaction is also known as a synthesis reaction. Examples of combination reaction is 2 sodium plus chlorine combine to form sodium chloride. There are many other examples which include 2 hydrogen combine with oxygen to form water molecule. Then calcium combines with sulfur to form calcium sulfide. 2 calcium combines with oxygen molecule to form calcium oxide. So in all these cases, there is some formation of heat or energy taking place during the happening of the reaction. So combination reactions are also called endothermic reaction. This is because some amount of heat is produced during combination reaction. Next type is decomposition reaction. So a decomposition reaction is a reaction in which a single compound breaks into 2 or more simpler compounds. It takes the form of XY breaking down into X plus Y. So that is, a single reactant breaks down to give simpler products. Here we have a reactant AB which breaks down into A plus B, which both are simpler products. So a decomposition reaction is just the opposite of combination reaction. So here a single product breaks down into a single reactant breaks down into 2 or more simpler products. The exact opposite happens in combination reaction. 2 or more simpler reactants combine to form a single product. So combination reaction can also be called the opposite of decomposition reaction and vice versa. So in a decomposition reaction, the reaction takes place by absorbing some amount of heat or energy. So decomposition reaction are also called a endothermic reaction. We have seen that combination reactions are called an exothermic reaction. The opposite happens in decomposition reaction, so it's called an endothermic reaction. Example of decomposition reaction is calcium carbonate breaks down into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. This reaction happens on application of heat, so this reaction is also called a thermal decomposition reaction. So a reaction in which a compound decomposes due to heating is known as thermal decomposition reaction. There are also other forms of energy used, but now let us focus on thermal decomposition. So there are some examples. 2H2O, that is 2 water molecules, breaks down into oxygen and hydrogen molecules. Then copper chloride breaks down into copper and chlorine. Sodium chloride breaks down into sodium and chlorine. So we have exothermic and endothermic reaction. A reaction that releases energy from the system in the form of heat is called an exothermic reaction. We have seen that a combination reaction is an exothermic reaction because some amount of energy or heat is released in this reaction. Endothermic reaction, a reaction that the system absorbs energy from its surroundings in the form of heat. We have seen that a decomposition reaction is an endothermic reaction because that reaction absorbs some amount of heat or energy for it to take place. Then a third type of reaction, that is displacement reaction. A chemical reaction in which a more reactive element displaces a less reactive element from its aqueous solution. Here it has the form X plus YZ gives XZ plus Y. That is, here we have one compound AB and another one C. They are the reactants. They react with each other, and here we can see that our C is more reactive than A. So C kicks A out of its place and takes the place of A. So a new compound BC is formed along with our A. So it is also called a substitution reaction. As in here, there is a substitution of elements takes place. Examples of displacement reaction is Zn, that is zinc plus copper sulfate gives zinc sulfate plus copper. Here we can see that zinc is more reactive than copper, so it displaces copper from its place. Examples. One of the most prominent example of single displacement reaction is iron and copper sulfate. So we can see that when we put an iron nail in a copper sulfate solution, the color of the copper sulfate solution becomes pale green and there is a brown deposition on the iron nail. This happens because the copper in copper sulfate is displaced by iron and iron sulfate is formed. Other examples include zinc plus hydrochloric acid gives zinc chloride plus hydrogen. Iron plus lead nitrate gives lead plus iron nitrate. Then a last type of reaction, that is double displacement reaction. A reaction in which ions get exchanged between two reactants which form a new compound is called a double displacement reaction. So it has a form of XY plus ZA gives XZ plus YA. That is, A and D combine with each other to form AD and B and C combines with each other to form BC. Exchange of ions takes place. So it is also called an ion exchange reaction or a metathesis reaction. Sometimes it's also called a precipitation reaction, as in most of the double displacement reaction, a precipitate is formed. Examples of double displacement reaction are silver nitrate plus sodium chloride gives silver chloride plus sodium nitrate. Sodium sulfate plus barium chloride gives barium sulfate plus sodium chloride. In these cases, some amount of precipitate is formed and exchange of ions takes place. I hope that today's topic is clear for you. Thank you for patiently listening to me.